if as a white person, you feel bad about your privilege, and if that feeling has you doing things that you perhaps wouldn't have done otherwise, or saying things that you wouldn't have said otherwise, that skews things for all of us. Now, look, I understand why white people might feel like this, because they're being made to feel like that, because that's the narrative. Britain is bad. Colonial history is bad. Britain is racist. You're a racist if you think X or Y. You don't want to be a racist, because racism these days has been, it's now got the power of, I don't know, it's worse than anything. Like the idea of being called a racist, you'd rather be called a murderer than be called a racist. You simply cannot be that thing. And so you'll avoid it as a white person. And look, some genuinely decent white people who are progressives, they want to make it so that multiculturalism can succeed. And they think that the problem lies with them. They think that the problem lies with white people not being understanding enough, or not being liberal-minded enough, being too racist. And so they then think, well, what do I need to do? And they're told what you need to be is anti-racist. And if you think these things, if you believe in DEI, if you change the things that you know, it's wrong for you to hold on to the idea that baked beans on toast is a good idea, or it's wrong for you to think that the royal family is important, or whatever it is. They then go, okay, because white people are being made to feel deeply uncomfortable about who they are. And that's not helpful for them or for ethnic minorities. And it's certainly not helpful for us all getting on with each other.
I think it's even worse than that. And I think part of the reaction and the pushback we're seeing now amongst, let's say, patriot types.
Yes, exactly.
Is that they see that their kids are getting taught that their white kids have privilege or whatever. But they also look at the statistics and see, oh, white working class kids are the least successful in school, in education. And they don't want their kids to be treated differently from anyone else. They consider it their country, and they think it's absurd. And that actually builds up resentment. And then the next step in the danger, the next danger in that line of thinking is, okay, well, we need to prioritize the white kids now as a reaction, which is, I think, has come from progressivism, and maybe is an answer to the question.
That's right. Everything you're saying. Absolutely.
The progressive idea is judging people by different racial or ethnic identities means that you're going to get resentment amongst whites.
That's right. Look at the run in the campaign for the Democrats in America. It's entirely on racial lines. White men for Kamala, black women for Kamala.
Back to the Democrat roots.
I mean, indeed. Like, it's so frightening. All of this discussion on what Kamala is. Is she Asian? Is she black? Who the hell cares? It's just crazy. I want to know what her policies are. I want to know what kind of person she is. What are her values? What does she think's important? I just... Look... And it's funny because for me, it's interesting because Kamala, being her mum is from India, her dad is from Jamaica. My mum is from Jamaica. My father is Indo-Guyanese. So for the first time, some famous person is my background, basically, you know, racial heritage.
Do you feel like she represents your ideas?
Well, and this is what's so crazy. I totally disagree with everything Kamala has to say. I mean, like, but it's neat. It's quite neat. I think, oh, well, there's somebody with my heritage. Yeah. So it's not completely meaningless, your heritage. Obviously, it means something, but it's just quite cute. That's all. And so we're losing sight of what's really important. And we're losing. So when I say multiculturalism needs to be managed, it needs a muscular management, you know, in the way that we do it. And it's not just that multiculturalism needs management. Schools need management, right?
But isn't managing schools managing multiculturalism? And, and this is actually different to how I came into this conversation. Because I mistook you saying managing multiculturalism as another way of saying finding common culture, which actually that's separate things. It's like there's managing multiculturalism and there is finding common culture to unify us as a people. Have I misunderstood that?
Yeah, I think that's right. No,
that's correct.
I think what you just said there is right at the end. Yeah, isn't it interesting? You know, when I say about Freddie and that conversation I had, and we'd misunderstood each other, you and I, like, these ideas are so complex. It's really hard to drill down into them. Look, yes, I think schools need to manage multiculturalism. I think the media and society needs to manage multiculturalism. And we don't do that by separating kids. Look,
but
in
managing
schools, kids are separated. Like, it's not just in America. Like, it's not as bad here, but there's the LGBT group. There's the Muslim group. There's the Hindu group. There's the Black Caribbean group. Now, it may not be done officially, although some groups will be created officially by certain groups. They'll say, this is our LGBTQ day, for instance, and so on, as opposed to, well, we're all children together. When we divide children into groups like that, they identify with their tribe, right? And if Black people are on Twitter and they're only looking at Black Twitter, then they only see Black people and they're only identifying as a Black person, as opposed to, but I'm British and I'm British before I'm Black, right? I'm a Black British person. Like, and that's great. And you could be a Muslim British person, and you can be a Hindu British person, and you can be a white British person, right? And there will be differences. We may eat some different foods. We may wear different clothes. But there is a common culture under which we survive and get on with.
But we are unable as a country to articulate what that is. And I'm just going to emphasize this.
I agree with that, yes.
Not only is that a problem, which we've seen this month, but if current mass migration levels are what they are, which is roughly 700,000 net a year, gross 1.2 million. So we're importing so many people, inviting so many people on, you know what I'm about to say, on this huge level into this country at a way that we couldn't possibly assimilate or integrate like we used to, where there was a time assimilation didn't mean getting rid of your culture. It means being part of the culture. So the problem we've got as a country is we can't come together and even define what it is to be British, although I think you've kind of done that with your school. Some of the things, it's kind of history. It's
the values.
Anthems.
It's
traditions, which I think cuisine comes under the tradition aspect.
Yes.
And if we can't, as a nation, articulate what those things are, what hope do we have of dealing with what we're seeing on the society level, which is horrific. Like, it's really terrifying. We're seeing all these riots and things. And I'm sorry for me to pull out back to that, but I think that's what's so important about what you've done at the Michaela. It's bloody, if not an example, at least a bloody attempt to unite everyone. Thanks for watching this clip from The Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode, and for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.